Right now this morning, First Ladies Jill Biden and Gwen Walz campaign in La Crosse will have a recap of the visit. And ahead, why mulching your fall leaves could be better for your lawn and your back.
Plus, we have a wind advisory in play today. That means windy and gusty conditions up to 45 miles per hour. Showers are on the way for tomorrow. I'll have all that coming up in your quick cast.
Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Art Jarrett.
It is Tuesday, October 29th. We've got the cool air blasting down on us. That means, I've learned what that means.
What's that?
It means it's going to be a warm day. Is that accurate? Is my hypothesis correct? What's the scientific evidence say?
Why, I think so, Alexandra.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to get into your local weather right now for you. That's hilarious. Hey, it's so much warmer out there than it was 24 hours ago that it's almost near my favorite temperature. As we get by the noon hour, we might just reach 75 degrees and get out there and enjoy that, man. Hey, today, midweek and beyond, we're looking at the possibility of mild to warm conditions. In fact, we'll get up to about 81 degrees today. Eau Claire about 80 degrees. Other locations will be intermixed between 75 to at least 81 to 82 degrees. Showers also a part of our forecast as we get past midweek as well, but we'll probably pick some of that up tomorrow as well in the form of storm activity, scattered showers and storms coming into your forecast. And of course, that's for tomorrow, where we have right now about a 10% chance of light rainfall for us here right now. We'll also see warm and windy conditions, as I mentioned before, that could disturb high-profile vehicles working across the area, knock down trees and power lines. We could have a power outage or two as well, and that could also happen for tomorrow as well. That being said, we'll get into current temperatures right now, holding on to those 60s and the 50s, as I mentioned. We may have already broken a record for La Crosse back in 2004, 59 degrees. We're observed around 62 degrees, and we are at least now 5 to about 31 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago. I'll be right back, and we'll be talking about your local weather in just a bit. Back to you.
On the campaign trail, First Lady Jill Biden and Minnesota's First Lady Gwen Walz rallied supporters at the La Crosse Center yesterday. The former educators spoke about the election's impact on teaching careers. Wisconsin teacher salaries currently fall $7,000 below the national average, with state budget cuts and bargaining laws driving many from the profession. One La Crosse teacher says having Walz as VP is crucial for Wisconsin educators' future.
Having a public school teacher beside her in the White House, I've never seen anything like that. And so knowing that our voices are going to be represented in policy discussions is just, you can feel the change coming. It's so exciting.
Members of the National and La Crosse Education Association spoke before the First Ladies took the stage. Early voting will continue today. La Crosse residents can do that at City Hall starting at 8:30 this morning till 6 p.m., the Northside Policing Center from 9 to 2, or the Moob Cultural Community Agency from 9 to 2. If you live in Onalaska, head to the city clerk's office from 8 to 6. Election day now just exactly a week away. Today, Vice President Harris is set to speak at the Ellipse while Trump campaigns in Allentown, Pennsylvania, following controversy that continues to brew over Puerto Rican remarks at his MSG rally. CBS's Jared Hill reports.
Monday night, hundreds packed an arena in Philadelphia as one of Vice President Kamala Harris's biggest surrogates made a case to voters.
Together, we have a chance to choose a new generation of leadership in this country.
Some left offended by comments and jokes made during former President Donald Trump's New York City rally, including a comedian calling Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage.
They're making fun of our people in our island.
Former President Donald Trump in battleground Georgia made no mention while unleashing new attacks on Vice President Harris.
She's a hater. She was a lousy attorney general. She's a fascist, okay? She's a fascist.
There are about 300,000 eligible Puerto Rican voters here in Pennsylvania, and some are slamming the controversy ahead of Trump's plans to visit the Keystone State today. In Michigan yesterday, Harris focused on the economy at a semiconductor plant and on the youth vote near the University of Michigan, though she was heckled at a rally over another top issue, the war in Gaza.
We all want this war to end as soon as possible.
Harris is facing a possible split among Michigan's sizable Arab American community over the war in what remains a tight race.
According to the University of Florida's election lab, more than 47 million early ballots have already been cast in the election. 3rd District candidate Derek Van Orden bringing his re-election campaign to Dairyland Power, hosting a nuclear energy roundtable there. The Republican congressman says carbon neutral goals require nuclear investment. Both Van Orden and Dairyland's president advocate for streamlined permits and equal subsidies with wind and solar to boost utility investment in nuclear power.
I don't want the federal government dictating to these professionals, you're going to use X amount of wind, X amount of solar, X amount of nuke. I don't want to do that. I want the subject matter experts that are providing a service to be able to provide that service with reasonable oversight from the federal government.
Dairyland's president calls nuclear power safe and carbon-free with built-in decommissioning costs. The Adam Fravel murder trial continues into its 9th day today, following yesterday's testimony from state investigators. A BCA agent testified about transferring evidence, including electronics, bedding, and DNA samples. While searching the couple's home after her disappearance, agents found duct tape but didn't seize it. Additional testimony revealed Fravel had bruising a week after Kingsbury went missing. Prairie du Chien police have identified the victim in last Friday's homicide as 65-year-old Daniel Welsh. 39-year-old Jesse Slaughter now facing first-degree reckless homicide charges. Officers found Welsh dead from apparent sharp force wounds during a welfare check on East Wisconsin Street last Friday. Slaughter also facing separate charges in Oneida County for disorderly conduct and property damage. We're in the thick of fall and the leaf piles are starting to grow. As you get to work in the yard, we wanted to know, what are the benefits of mulching leaves? Jeff Wagner explains when it might not be a good idea.
What is your attack plan for these leaves?
Attacking the leaves, well, I just blow off what I can off our driveway, and then I give a mild rake to the leaves on the lawn, and the rest go to mulch.
It's an effective, albeit repetitive, cleanup process for Mark Hawkinson. How much do you get rid of versus how much do you mulch?
I'd say it's about 80% getting rid of it.
Raking and removing leaves reveals a green lawn, but doing the opposite can create one.
We always want to have things to be nice and tidy, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that way, and there can be some benefits behind having a little bit more clutter.
John Trappy is a turf grass extension educator for the University of Minnesota. What are the benefits for our lawns of mulching leaves?
So we recommend to mulch leaves because we can return nutrients that are important for our lawns or for the trees themselves.
Most tree leaves are about 1 to 3% nitrogen, which is the most important element for plants to grow.
We're basically getting some free fertilizer for our lawns.
Free and all natural instead of man-made chemicals.
We have a lot of flower beds, so we don't rake those out.
Why might we want to leave leaves around trees or around our plants?
They're holding in moisture and preventing it from evaporating up into the atmosphere.
Similar to wood chips, mulched leaves can help soil retain moisture around flower beds and tree trunks, regulate the soil's temperature, and stop weed growth. What are the cons of mulching?
Eventually, you might get to a point where you have too many left on the surface after mowing.
If you use a mower to mulch the leaves in your yard and barely see any grass afterwards, it's time to remove some or risk creating snow mold over the winter.
It slows the green up of the turf grasses as they're coming out of winter dormancy. But in some extreme cases, it can actually kill the grass.
You said the leaves are a bit heavier today?
It rained yesterday.
Wet leaves don't mulch well and are much heavier to remove.
Waiting for them to dry is going to be beneficial for multiple reasons.
An excuse to put off a fall chore just a little bit longer while making the work easier.
Sounds good. Time now is 6:09. Still to come, more companies requiring employees to return to the office. Possible asbestos contamination in baby powder. We'll tell you what you need to know. And Robinhood allowing users to bet on the outcome of the presidential election. And the Department of Transportation has some news for you. Automatic refund rules now in effect for canceled or significantly delayed flights. That and more coming up later. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. 40 pets and their owners competed in a Halloween costume contest in Hong Kong. Dogs dressed as everything from witches to, we saw a nun there, Chinese zombies strutted their stuff alongside their humans, and the winning pair was a standard poodle decked out as a police officer. Judges looked for creative costumes and owner-pet chemistry in this competition. There's the nun that celebrates the special bond between people and their furry friends. And as you start to wake up this morning, leaving you with a quick wake-up call with the metropolis that Gotham City is based off of. That is Chicago, Illinois. I thought that was New York, so that shows you how much I know about Batman. All right, Batman fans in the back must be happy with this one. Stay with us. Your morning consumer news is coming up.
I've been with U.S. Cellular for 27 years. When they asked me to talk to you about their special customer event, Us Days, I said, I gotta get in shape. Us Days means exclusive deals just for us customers.
Us Days is back at U.S. Cellular.
He's supposed to serve Wisconsin, but Derek Van Orden doesn't care about making our lives better. Van Orden wants to repeal the law that stops insurance companies from denying coverage if you have a pre-existing health condition. He'd make Wisconsinites pay just to give huge tax cuts to corporations and the wealthy. Van Orden even sides with extremists who tried to cut Social Security. Wisconsin deserves better, and Derek Van Orden does not belong in Congress.
HMP is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Dental implants are often the best solution to severe dental issues. If you have infection in your mouth, it does cause trouble other places. A lot of people ignore infection for way too long. And when they finally do something about it, they say not only do they like what they did here, but they feel better overall. In the end, you can have a smile you're proud of and a very healthy mouth.
We're an implant-focused practice. If you think you have a full mouth of challenges, come see us. Come down for a free consultation.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Eric Hovde owns a $3 billion California bank. That's right, he owns it.
And a $7 million mansion on the beach.
Eric Hovde proposed $4 trillion in new tax breaks for rich guys just like him.
And to pay for it, Hovde would cut Social Security by 28%.
Slash Medicare 25%.
And veterans benefits 40%.
Outrageous. Now we know what's wrong with Eric Hovde. This guy is not for us.
Welcome to Washington, D.C. You got a bunch of loudmouth, preening politicians. It's absolute chaos. I'm Derek Van Orden, and after 26 years as a Navy SEAL, there's a few things that I learned. You stay on mission, you know what you're fighting for, and sometimes you gotta get a little dirty to finish the job. Let's go, kids. Not you. Not you. You. Let's go. I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
Sunday, November 3rd is the day we've all been waiting for. It's Buzzy's annual 12-hour sale. Get the best deals of the year for 12 hours only from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. Furniture pricing is drastically reduced with over 50% off select products. Get a free adjustable base upgrade with select mattress purchases. Receive a $300 gift, interest-free financing, plus free delivery with Tempur-Pedic purchases, sleep experts on staff, door prizes, and so much more. Don't miss out. One day only at Buzzy's Home Furnishing.
Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing? Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Look, here's a phone company who wants us to use our phones less.
That's ironic.
Yeah, but in a good way. Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us. It's a free ride. But I already paid.
All right, in your morning hours here, we're looking at clear skies going into the 9 a.m. hour. We're also going to be picking up again the possibility of partly cloudy skies working in the forecast. Then, of course, for the late morning hours into the early afternoon, temperatures 73 to 77 degrees. So we're warming up rapidly as the day progresses. We're also going to be seeing this as well. The wind gusts picking up. You can see it kind of clumped together. Then we get to 22 miles per hour, spreading out to 26 miles per hour, and up to 32 for Viroqua, Sparta, about 29, 32 for Soldiers Grove, down to Boscobel, 32 with Prairie du Chien at 32-mile-per-hour wind gusts, all the way up to Ladysmith and Medford holding on to 20 to 24 miles per hour. We'll go right into the 9 o'clock hour, begin to drop the numbers down slowly but surely as we get into the evening, and then eventually we take a break going into the overnight, and that wind comes back in the morning for tomorrow. That being said, your forecast for La Crosse, you're looking at 64 degrees getting into, this is the 7 o'clock hour, heading home 81 degrees, and then once you get into Eau Claire, 55 degrees for you, all of which all under mostly cloudy skies, holding on to 80 degrees once you get into the daytime. All right, so your highs for the day, 75 Ladysmith, Eau Claire at 80. We get to Natrepelou, 80 degrees, La Crosse at 81, down to areas by New Albany, about 81 degrees, and Prairie du Chien, about 80 degrees. When I come back, I'll give you an overview of how this plays out with the rainfall that's due for tomorrow, as well as the precipitation that'll be hitting the ground. Back to you.
In your consumer news this morning, more companies are requiring employees to return to the workplace instead of working from home. Amazon recently mandated a 5-day in-office work week. Other companies are also changing their work from home rules. A recent survey found about 1 in 5 employees say they're ignoring their company's return to office policy. Wonder how that'll go.
We know that the companies are very serious about it. That does not mean that people don't have some flexibility here, but that needs to begin with a conversation with your manager, not just a choice that you make on your own.
LinkedIn says these days only about 20% of job listings are remote or hybrid. Dynarex is expanding its baby powder recall by hundreds more cases because they could be contaminated with asbestos. You can see the bottles here on your screen. The expansion affecting Dynacare baby powder 14-ounce sizes with the product number 4875 and the 4-ounce size under item number 4874. No illnesses have been reported, but consumers are urged to throw away or return the recalled items for a full refund. Stocks and investing app Robinhood now allowing its users to bet on the outcome of next week's presidential election between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Trump. The company said yesterday it's offering a limited number of contracts to people, all of whom must be U.S. citizens, to participate. Robinhood's shares rose more than 3% for the day after that announcement. If you're traveling by air soon, the Department of Transportation has some news for you. Automatic refund rules are now in effect for canceled or significantly delayed flights. Other regulations cover refunds for fees. Amy Kiley has those details.
Before your next takeoff, take a look at your new passenger rights. The Transportation Secretary says automatic airfare refund rules took effect yesterday.
You get your money back, and you get your money back without having to ask.
Here he is discussing them back in April before Congress enshrined them in the FAA Reauthorization Act.
When an airline knows that anybody on a flight that's going to get canceled is going to get their money back, it gives them more of a reason to make the investments and the realistic schedules that prevent that from happening to you in the first place.
If your flight is disrupted and you don't rebook, you get an automatic cash refund within 20 days. That applies to cancellations, domestic delays of 3 or more hours, and international delays of at least 6 hours. Separate rules mandate a luggage fee refund if you don't get your bag by a certain time, and refunds for prepaid services like seat selection and Wi-Fi if you don't receive them.
I think airlines are just going to have to realize that consumers, you can't just capture them forever with bad policy.
A group representing major airlines says it's on board with automatic refunds, though the rules have faced pushback from the industry.
The market got distorted with some of these tactics in which airlines basically had too much power over the consumers.
Passengers who use credit cards to pay for fares can get refunds within a week. That's it for your morning consumer news. Time now is 6:19. Let's check in with News 8 meteorologist Art Jarrett for a look at our forecast.
All right, and away we go. Walking on over to the green screen, you're going to be seeing the conditions to be like this. Windy conditions on the way, even wicked witches out there as well as we get into the witching hour for Thursday. Holding on to water vapor imagery. This is the moisture that's in the atmosphere right now. We started out with a 10% chance of rainfall, but I'm about to bump it up to at least a 20% chance as this morning is progressing right now. A lot of this moisture coming up from the south. You can see Omaha, Nebraska right there. And there's a look at the moisture there. That's kind of moving into Bismarck, of course, getting closer to the Twin Twin Cities with some lighter stuff, and then picking up again once it gets closer to Lake Michigan and Lake Superior. That continues on. So we get closer. We're looking at a wind advisory that's in play. It starts at 10 o'clock this morning, goes to 10 o'clock this evening, and it's for winds that are going to be up to at least 45 miles per hour gusting. So that means, of course, we could see garbage cans. We could see decorations for Halloween. We could also see high-profile vehicles having difficulty with this wind, as well as tree limbs knocking down power lines and also causing power outages. As your average low and high here, looking at 52 to 58 degrees, we're going to smash that. We're looking at widespread 80s with some upper 70s mixed in, and of course our lows normally in the 30s. Well, we're already in the 70s, 60s, and the 50s for this early morning right now, possibly already making a record for La Crosse for record warm lows. We also see that's a low back in record back in 2004, and that was at least at 59 degrees. We're at 62, or we're at 62 back at the 5 o'clock hour. Holding on to clouds, continuing to move into the process here. We have mostly cloudy skies that are going to be sweeping through the area today. Getting into the afternoon, they thin out going into at least by 4 o'clock for a bit, and then they start to pick up again at the 8 o'clock hour. Then we look over to the northwest and we look at a little bit of rainfall sneaking in going into the overnight hours. You're going to be seeing that come in all the way into the morning for Wednesday. A little bit of scattered showers continue on for Wednesday at 3 o'clock going into the afternoon. So that's when showers start to come in a little bit heavier. Then they continue to pick up slowly but surely, kind of tracking a little to the east, bringing rainfall down to areas by La Crosse as well, 7 o'clock. So we're looking between about 2 o'clock all the way to 7 p.m. some heavy shower activity working in. Then a break pops in. Then coming back about Thursday at 5 a.m. in the morning, showers and storms popped into the picture. They leave early, but look what they've left behind going to Minneapolis. It may be a little bit too cold, but there's snow potential working into the forecast there. And it kind of scoots out by Eau Claire going up to La Crosse, up to Ladysmith, and then up and out it goes. This is just rainfall for Thursday alone. Look at the amounts. We could see 2 to 3 inches for tomorrow for us there, but of course we get into the mild conditions for now, and then once we get into how this all plays out, we're going to see that heat continue to transfer into our local temperatures. We're going to be seeing possibilities of 81 degrees today with warm temperatures. Tomorrow at 74 degrees with a 90% chance of rainfall, 60% for tomorrow, and you saw that rain for that, and then drier conditions for Friday. Back to you.
Thank you, Art. Watch out for that witch. Time now is 6:22. Still ahead, a New Hampshire man survives 3 deadly mosquito viruses at once. How a simple bug bite left him fighting for his life, and his remarkable road to recovery.
Coming up in the Blitz, area volleyball teams looking to keep advancing in the Minnesota State playoffs. That and more when we return.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal, come have a taste of Wisconsin.
America's Dairyland.
As in real dairy.
It gives Culver's fresh frozen custard its famous rich and creamy flavor. Like really rich.
So rich.
Rich and creamy.
And our cook-to-order Butterburgers?
They're topped with, you guessed it,
Wisconsin cheese.
but it's the smiles we put on your face with every meal made just for you.
That really makes our hearts melt.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Think you know Steve Doyle? Think again. Doyle refused to protect our daughters, forcing them to share bathrooms and locker rooms with biological boys, and voted to force girls to compete against boys in sports. Doyle believes dangerous puberty-blocking drugs should be given to minors, and gender reassignment surgery is performed on children. Keep kids safe? Steve Doyle says no. Ryan Hipsch, focused on what matters, helping families with rising costs and protecting our children. It's just common sense. Ryan Hipsch for Assembly.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I was 27 years old, and the doctor told me I have MS. You quickly realize what's the most important things in life: family, friendships, love, helping other people. It makes you much more empathetic and compassionate to those that are struggling and suffering. I wanted to achieve my goals and dreams, but I wanted to take my resources and save as many children as I possibly could.
So many of you have told me about your plans for the future, but prices are too high. So here's what we're going to do about it. I will take on price gouging. I will lower the cost of health care insurance. Donald Trump, well, he wants to give more tax breaks to the wealthy. I will cut taxes for the middle class instead. You may not always agree with me, but I promise I will do everything I can to lift up the middle class and be a president for all Americans. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
I believe in bringing people together, like my family and neighbors did when I was growing up on the north side of La Crosse. And now that I'm in the state legislature, it's why I focus on bipartisanship, because my whole being is focused on bringing people together to find solutions to make everyone a winner. I've appreciated the opportunity to be your state representative, and if I'm reelected, that's what I'm going to continue to do. My entire focus will be on bringing people together to make Wisconsin a better state.
The Blitz. Minnesota volleyball teams are just a few wins away from the state tournament, which means everyone meets in Rochester for the sectionals. The Maple Canton Cougars are one of the best teams in the state, and they've got their eyes on a trip back to the Excel Center. Let's go to Mayo Civic Center. The Cougars enter the night 32-2 this season, and a team who is focused. First set, Cougars up big on set point. Kinley Soini with the bump set, and Tyler Wenthold comes over the top with the kill. Grand Meadow cannot handle it. The Cougars take set one 25-9. Let's jump to the third frame. Maple Canton rolling. The kill is going to get blocked, but Sahara Morgan heads up play with a dump. The perfect spot. Cougars are in full control. And then on match point, Kaylee Ingvalsen with the serve. The Grand Meadow defense trying to set up a kill, but Ella Halverson stands strong, gets the block, and Maple Canton gets the sweep, and they are moving on to the section semifinals. Spring Grove, the 2 seed, as the Lions facing off with Goodhue. Spring Grove would drop the first set, but they would bounce back. Goodhue with a soft hit over the net, and Jordis Neely would make them pay. Spikes it back over. Lions would take set 2. Then in set 3, Lions really starting to click. Joelle Halverson goes down for the dig, and that would lead to Haley Norman going up for the kill, and she drills it. Lions would take set 3, but this match would go into 5 sets, and Goodhue would close it out 15-13. The final as Spring Grove season comes to an end. The Bucks on the second night of a back-to-back against the reigning champs. Second quarter, it's Damian Lillard missing on the 3, but he gets his rebound and connects on the retry from the corner. Not much later, Lillard playmaking on the pass, and he drops it off to Giannis for the slam. The Greek Freak had 30 and 10 rebounds, but this guy was a killer for Boston. Peyton Pritchard is going to stick the long triple try before the end of the third quarter. He had 28 points, including 8 threes, and the Bucks drop this one 119-108 and lose their 3rd straight game after opening the season with a win. Bucks need to turn it around. I'll do it for Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
At Ashley, it's not just Black Friday. It's the Ashley stain-resistant fabric, where have you been all my life Black Friday event. But don't wait. It's also the Ashley you can save up to $1,000 store-wide Black Friday event.
Hi, I'm Danielle, General Manager here at the Board Store. In 1989, when I first saw my dad on the TV talking about high quality and low prices, I wasn't quite sure how I felt. But now, 35 years later, with this exceptional showroom, high quality products, knowledgeable staff, and the best installation crews in the area, I couldn't be more proud. And we look forward to continuing to serve all your home improvement needs for many more years to come. Come see us at the Board Store.
California banker Eric Hovde has a plan that helps him and hurts you.
Here's the math. Hovde proposed $4 trillion in new tax cuts for rich people like him.
And we pay for Hovde's tax breaks with a 28% cut to Social Security and a 25% cut to Medicare.
Hovde even said he would raise the retirement age.
You have to start changing the retirement age.
Eric Hovde, still helping himself and hurting you.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
Politics these days stinks. Too much hot air, and you know what else. But I'm no stranger to putting in a hard day's work and getting the job done. I have a history of bipartisan accomplishments. It's a hard job, but I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. I can reach across the aisle and pass good bills just as easily as I can walk across the barnyard with my shovel. So whether it's doing chores on the farm or passing bills in Madison, I'm Steve Doyle, and I'm ready to get back to work for you.
Under Kamala, there's been a big hike in Medicare premiums. Social Security benefits don't go far with Kamala's inflation slamming seniors. Now Kamala wants struggling seniors to pay more Social Security taxes, while she gives Medicare and Social Security to illegals. That will doom Medicare. President Trump will make sure no one cuts Medicare or Social Security. Trump lowered Medicare premiums, and he'll end the tax on Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
I thought I knew Tammy Baldwin.
I thought I knew Tammy Baldwin.
But boy, is she extreme.
Tammy's open border policies flooded Wisconsin with fentanyl and criminals.
Her bill to force women to share locker rooms with biological men, dangerous.
And Tammy's done nothing to lower the cost of living.
In fact, she helped cause the crisis.
25 years is enough.
It's enough.
It's enough.
It's time for Tammy Baldwin to go. Fix Washington PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on. Capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor. And the potential to take you anywhere.
Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Or get $5,750 total value on this Silverado. Visit HometownChevy.com.
At Ashley, it's not just Black Friday. It's the Ashley Mommy Needs This More Than Anything Else in the World Black Friday event. But don't wait, because it's also the Ashley You Can Get 0% Interest for 72 Months Black Friday event.
The news continues on News 8 Now. Expect more.
Welcome back. In your morning medical news, a New Hampshire man is speaking out, warning others about the dangers that can come from just a mosquito bite. Joe Casey survived Eastern Equine Encephalitis, or EEE. At least 30% of people who get that die from it. Paul Burton shares his story.
Every step Joe Casey takes reminds him of just how far he's come. During the summer, the 55-year-old from Kensington, New Hampshire, got bit by a mosquito and became deathly ill.
I fell down in my living room and kind of blacked out. And then my sons and my mother-in-law got me to the hospital.
What were you diagnosed with?
Triple E, and then they also tested for St. Louis and West Nile, so I got all three.
He was in Exeter Hospital's ICU for 3 weeks and in a coma. For weeks, his family was not sure if he would pull through.
My wife was told by the nurse, you better get your kids in here to see him right now because we're not sure. So it was pretty scary.
When he got out of the ICU, he says it was like starting over again.
So I wasn't capable of pretty much doing everything. I couldn't walk, talk, comb my hair, or anything like that. Couldn't get out of bed.
We were incredibly scared.
His wife of 24 years was by his side the whole time and now assisting him with his rehab.
To have him walking on his own is amazing. He's worked so hard and we're really proud of him.
Joe says he still has 10 more weeks of outpatient rehab, all from a simple mosquito bite, which is why he's speaking out now about the dangers of Triple E.
Don't underestimate the size of the villain here, whatever. You just have to be ready and be prepared. You've taken your kids to ballparks, whatever. Please douse them with DEET, douse yourself with DEET, and stay alert. Most grateful for my family, for the support, the love, for the Lord for blessing me. Obviously, there's a blessing behind this. And yeah, just getting a second chance at life.
Joe says he has a long road to recovery, but he's in a better place.
Wow. Most people infected with Triple E do not become ill, but symptoms can range from mild to severe, including fever, fatigue, neck stiffness, tremors, and confusion. The USDA, meanwhile, says the evidence does not point to ground beef as the probable source of that E. coli outbreak at McDonald's linked to the Quarter Pounders. The Colorado Department of Agriculture also tested the beef patties from the restaurants associated with the outbreak and announced they were also negative for E. coli. McDonald's says based on those findings and data from the CDC, it is confident in ruling out fresh beef patties as a source of contamination. And the CDC issuing its first stroke prevention guidelines in a decade, emphasizing diet, exercise, and new medical findings. The update adds certain weight loss and diabetes drugs can also reduce stroke risk in high-risk patients. Women are advised to monitor blood pressure during pregnancy and while on birth control. The guidelines also address stroke risks for those receiving gender-affirming hormone therapy. The American honeybee shared sweet science with crucifixion school students yesterday. The American Beekeeping Federation spokeswoman taught the kids about bees and their crucial role in our food supply, explaining bees pollinate 1/3 of everything we eat.
Some of the things are pollination. The honeybee, the commercial beekeeping industry across the U.S. is a $19 billion industry because of all the fruits and vegetables that are directly pollinated by honeybees.
She also promoted the Wisconsin Honey Producer Association's Kids and Bees Expo convention. That's happening this weekend in Onalaska. One La Crosse woman says she's living out her purpose, helping the unsheltered survive by supplying them with the basic necessities that help them get through their day-to-day. News 8 Now's Emily Brown has our October hometown hero.
Sue, I think maybe I need like some socks.
All right, it's a calling. It's not a job. I'm 64. I don't really need a job anymore.
Every time Sue Graff rolls up in her big yellow van, people know they're about to get a little more than the essentials. They're about to catch up with a good friend.
She remembers each and every one of us. She really does. From grumpy old Doc to bikers to like me and to other people.
I'm gonna give you a couple choices. Do you like this one?
Sue started the nonprofit WIN, or What I Need Now, back in 2020 during COVID, when resources were extremely limited for the unsheltered. She and her partner Brian drive the WIN van 7 days a week to several community parks, Burns, Copeland, Cameron, anywhere they can find people who need a little extra help with their day-to-day.
I got a blanket because it's freezing at nighttime now, a ton of water because I love my water.
We help people survive until they can maintain a different lifestyle and be successful.
The WIN van is replenished by donations and numerous nonprofits in La Crosse, with clothing, food, hygiene products.
My kind of joke is, if I don't have it, you don't need it right now.
Although she comes bearing the necessities,
that's all I need.
It's her humanity, her ability to see a piece of herself in each person who comes to her for help that carries the most value.
She had tracked Doc down one day to give him a special button-down shirt.
It's just really inspirational to see that level of kindness still is in the world.
An incomparable compassion that stemmed from her experience with homelessness as a child.
It's not always easy.
No.
But like I said, I feel called to do it.
And although Sue feels that she has much more to give, she does hope to one day say goodbye to this purpose-driven life.
The biggest dream for this organization is to not be needed, to be put out of business.
Our mission statement.
What great work she's doing. According to Coulee Cap, there are currently 171 people without permanent housing in La Crosse. If you'd like to make a monetary donation to WIN, you can visit whatineednow.org. We also have that link on our website. Time now is 6:38. Here is News 8 meteorologist Art Jarrett to tell us what to expect on that Tuesday morning commute. Can we expect some witches?
Well, quite possibly the witches could be a part of your forecast as we get into it here. What I've got going on for you, though, you're looking at breezy and gusty winds for today. And we also have a wind advisory that's in play, too, from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. today. Warmer conditions on the way as well. And the possibility of storms coming in as we go into, well, possibly tomorrow in the afternoon. We could see some rainfall tonight, though, getting in the overnight hours to early morning for Wednesday. And then after midweek, we could see some showers possibly working in up to at least 60% chance of rainfall, continuing all the way down into next week, going into about at least a 30% chance possibly for Tuesday. All right, that being said, let's take a gander at what I've got going on for you. I've got the extra clouds here for you all the way from the Twin Cities, working back all the way to Green Bay, down into areas to the south. So we are at least partly to mostly cloudy skies right now. We'll be in and out of the clouds for the day. A little bit of rainfalls in the picture as well, as you can see that as well. We'll keep an eye on that. But you notice how it starts to build up a little bit more once it gets over Lake Michigan as well as Lake Superior. We'll also see a little bit of a blip popping up through there. And of course, the rain and the severe weather is really down in Oklahoma, getting areas by Missouri, as well as portions of Iowa as well. When I come back, we'll have a better overview. All right, so coming up in our Buzz Report, we have pop star Olivia Rodrigo. Hey, what's up, girl? She's coming out with a new concert film. It will be ready to be streamed on Netflix today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Don't be fooled by Rebecca Cook. Cook proudly supported radicals who want to defund police, end cash bail, and throw open the border. Rebecca Cook, just another liberal trying to fool you. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
We all know what Eric Hovde's trying to do. Falsely attacking Tammy Baldwin by questioning her personal life. And Eric Hovde's trying to scare you. The truth is, no sex change surgeries take place on minors in Wisconsin. 0. And Baldwin didn't give funding to a transgender clinic. It's actually a youth homeless shelter. Eric Hovde's a billionaire banker who thinks he can lie about anything. But Wisconsin's better than Eric Hovde.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Who does Derek Van Orden think he is? This guy who reportedly shouted at kids in the U.S. Capitol? I don't give a who you are. I'm a congressman.
Derek Van Orden doesn't care about making our lives better. He'd make Wisconsinites pay just to give huge tax cuts to corporations and the wealthy. Van Orden even sides with extremists who tried to cut Social Security. Wisconsin deserves better, and Derek Van Orden does not belong in Congress.
HMP is responsible for the content of this advertising.
This illegal immigrant was recently arrested in southwestern Wisconsin for a sexually violent attack on a woman, a suspected Venezuelan gang member who entered the U.S. just last year. Unfortunately, Steve Doyle supports sanctuary cities that protect criminals like this, and Doyle opposed sending resources to secure the border to keep dangerous criminals like Alejandro Jose Coronel Zarate away from our families. Steve Doyle's failures are destroying Wisconsin lives. Steve Doyle, unwilling to secure the border, unfit to serve. Under Kamala, there's been a big hike in Medicare premiums. Social Security benefits don't go far with Kamala's inflation slamming seniors. Now Kamala wants struggling seniors to pay more Social Security taxes, while she gives Medicare and Social Security to illegals. That will doom Medicare. President Trump will make sure no one cuts Medicare or Social Security. Trump lowered Medicare premiums, and he'll end the tax on Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
I thought I knew Tammy Baldwin.
I thought I knew Tammy Baldwin.
But boy, is she extreme.
Tammy's open border policies flooded Wisconsin with fentanyl and criminals.
Her bill to force women to share locker rooms with biological men? Dangerous.
And Tammy's done nothing to lower the cost of living.
In fact, she helped cause the crisis.
25 years is enough.
It's enough.
It's enough.
It's time for Tammy Baldwin to go. Fix Washington PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I believe in bringing people together, like my family and neighbors did when I was growing up on the north side of La Crosse. And now that I'm in the state legislature, it's why I focus on bipartisanship, because my whole being is focused on bringing people together to find solutions to make everyone a winner. I've appreciated the opportunity to be your state representative, and if I'm reelected, that's what I'm going to continue to do. My entire focus will be on bringing people together to make Wisconsin a better state.
Don't be fooled by Rebecca Cook. Cook proudly supported radicals who want to defund police, end cash bail, and throw open the border. Rebecca Cook, just another liberal trying to fool you. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
All righty, let's have some fun this round here as we get into it. Your average temperatures, as I mentioned before, 52 to 58 degrees. We're crushing that today, getting into the 80s, 70s. And of course, we're looking at 33 to 39 degrees for our lows. We crushed that already. We're already in the 60s, the 50s, and the 70s already this early morning. It's going to be warm for kids going out to school today, so you really don't have to bundle them up too much at all, because they're going to get into 80-degree heat this afternoon, all the way up to Eau Claire, as well as portions of down to our south, where they're going to be seeing about 81 81, 82 degrees. That being said, a little bit of rainfall's already popping in the picture, getting closer to Minnesota, and eventually we'll see if that gets anywhere near us. Right now, though, we do have a wind advisory that comes into play at 10 o'clock this morning, goes to 10 o'clock tonight. We're also seeing winds from 35 to about 45 miles per hour today, and it's going to be windy, gusty, could knock down some trees, power lines, could put some power out for us, and then that tomorrow we can find that again coming back into our forecast as a marginal risk for severe weather. That being said, we continue on looking at about 12 o'clock today. We're looking at temperatures in the 70s widespread, middle to upper 70s, believe it or not, and then we'll also see 4 o'clock we get back into temperatures from 80 up in Eau Claire, 81 for La Crosse, Winona at 78, Decorah about 78, and Prairie du Chien about 79 degrees, possibly warming up even later on today. We'll see this wind continue to push this cloud cover out of the area. Briefly, we take a gander here going into the Wednesday at 10 a.m. in the morning. So we could see some light rainfall overnight tonight in the form of sprinkles to showers, but most of it's kind of following this track here. It gets out of the way. We get into the afternoon around 2 o'clock or so. We get some lighter showers. Then by 3 o'clock, we get some heavier showers working in the forecast. And then this continues on. We have a 90% chance of rainfall coming into the picture. Then it begins to slowly drift a little bit to the east, and the bulk of that rainfall starts to move out of the area slowly but surely. We go into a break as we go into 3 a.m. hour to 5 a.m. in the morning, and then we see more rainfall coming back for Thursday with another round. This has got some snow accumulation associated with it as well. Temperatures widespread in the 50s, so whether it gets to the ground, that's a different story altogether. But once we get into Thursday morning around 10 o'clock, a little light rainfall and moderate rainfall to moderate rainfall for Eau Claire, continuing on to areas by Wausau and Ladysmith. Then this batch of colder air starts to move right over Ladysmith, portions of Eau Claire, and that continues to work out of the area slowly but surely. Let's get into the rainfall as we go all the way from Thursday. I kind of dipped this all the way in from today going into Thursday as well, so Wednesday is included in this. It's a lot of rainfall, up to a couple of inches of rain in the forecast there. 3 inches possibly for Wausau. You see where they're getting all that rainfall. 2 inches down to the south. La Crosse up to 2 inches as well, and we could possibly see up to 3 inches in the forecast. Mild conditions continue on as we go through the next couple of days, and then eventually warm air still holds on to tomorrow, again around 75 degrees. Then we get into cooler conditions popping into the picture. As we go back into it here, I just want to show you real quick that we're going into conditions to play out like this. Slowly but surely, there they are, 81 to 74 degrees for tomorrow, 90% chance of rainfall with a 60% chance on Thursday.
In our Morning Buzz report, Sean Diddy Combs is facing some new lawsuits. On Monday, 2 men filed separate civil suits against the music mogul. They claimed they were minors when Combs assaulted them during auditions. One accuser says he was just 10 years old at the time of the alleged attack. Combs is currently jailed in New York, awaiting his criminal trial.
12 had a movie where the gay and lesbian characters were good and funny and out. They were able to live as their authentic selves.
Chasing Amy.
Chasing Amy.
Chasing Amy.
Sav Rogers explores the Kevin Smith cult classic he says saved his life in Chasing Amy. The award-winning documentary brings the filmmaker face to face with the film's creator and stars and the film's still controversial status for LGBTQ people. Chasing Amy opens in limited release Friday. Model Gisele Bündchen and her boyfriend Joaquim Volante are expecting their first baby together, according to People magazine. Bündchen has been dating the jiu-jitsu instructor since June of last year. She has 2 kids with her ex-husband Tom Brady. Brady and Bündchen divorced in 2022 after 13 years of marriage.
Tonight is very special. Welcome to the Guts World Tour!
Olivia Rodrigo's concert film, Olivia Rodrigo Guts World Tour, brings the arena into your living room. The best seat in the house. The film captures Rodrigo's stop in Los Angeles while on her 93-date arena tour. Olivia Rodrigo Guts World Tour streams today on Netflix. How many times can I say Olivia Rodrigo?
I know, right?
One more for good measure.
Is this going to be a whole new generation of like world tours now?
And they all get made into movies,
exactly.
right? Yep. Before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
All right, Riley is turning 8 months old today. She loves to watch Finding Nemo.
And I love her bat costume, so cute. And Larry is turning 88 years old today. He enjoys going fishing, hunting, and rooting for West Salem High School.
Right on. All right, how about Reva? She's also turning 88 years old today. She loves to pick flowers, go to her grandkids, sports games, and spending time with family and friends.
If you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
Well, that's right, Alexander. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and submit the pictures under our home tab.
And the time now is 6:48. Stay with us. We have everything you need to know in 5 minutes or less. Your Morning News Now is coming up next.
I'm Tony DeCopel. Coming up on CBS Mornings, Omar Villafranca shares 3 meals with voters in Texas to learn what they hope to see before and after the election. Plus, find out what a local opera house is doing to bring a new audience into the theater. That is coming up on CBS Mornings.
I've been with U.S. Cellular for 27 years. They've always taken care of me. But when they asked me to talk to you about their special customer event, Us Days, I said, I gotta get in shape. So they sent me this Hollywood trainer. Oh, this guy's no joke. Us Days means exclusive deals just for us customers.
Now let's try burpees.
Us Days is back at U.S. Cellular. Current customers get $1,200 off any phone, plus $400 off any tablet.
I'm Rebecca Cook, and like most folks in Wisconsin, I'm somewhere in the middle.
Oh, please. Don't be fooled by Rebecca Cook. She made her living trying to elect Democrat extremists. Cook proudly supported radicals who want to defund police, end cash bail, and throw open the border. No wonder extremists like AOC are spending big bucks to elect liberals like Cook. Rebecca Cook, just another liberal trying to fool you. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Politics these days stinks. Too much hot air, and you know what else. But I'm no stranger to putting in a hard day's work and getting the job done. I have a history of bipartisan accomplishments. It's a hard job, but I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. I can reach across the aisle and pass good bills just as easily as I can walk across the barnyard with my shovel. So whether it's doing chores on the farm or passing bills in Madison, I'm Steve Doyle, and I'm ready to get back to work for you.
Let's talk about Rebecca Cook. She's a political operative. She's worked for Defund the Police radicals across this country.
Cook spent millions getting Mandela Barnes elected, the most anti-law enforcement candidate in Wisconsin's history.
You remember Barnes, the guy who said reducing prison populations was sexy?
Defund the police radicals make it harder for us to keep you safe.
That's why we can't support Rebecca Cook, because she'll never support us.
I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
My husband and I were elated to find out that we would be having another baby. But after many tests, my doctors agreed that we had to terminate the pregnancy. It was the worst day of my life. You should know that Eric Hovde supports laws that stop me and my doctor from making that decision. And that's a ban with no exceptions in cases of rape or incest. It's a ban that could turn doctors into criminals. He opposes abortion, period.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
Blaine's Farm & Fleet's Fall Workwear event is going on now. We've got unbeatable deals on quality boots and apparel to help your hard-earned dollars go further. Like $5 off men's work and sport flannels starting at $24.99. Shop new fall styles of men's and women's Ariat workwear and accessories. Get $30 in Carhartt bucks for every $125 you spend on Carhartt gear. Plus, save $80 on this Milwaukee 4-tool combo kit.
The First Warn Weather app. Download it today. Celebrating 70 years. We're News 8 Now.
Welcome back. It's 6:52. Time for your Morning News Now. The Adam Fravel murder trial continues its 9th day today, following yesterday's testimony from state investigators. A BCA agent testified about transferring evidence, including electronics, bedding, and DNA samples. While searching the couple's home after her disappearance, agents found duct tape but didn't seize it. Additional testimony revealed Fravel had bruising a week after Kingsbury went missing. Prairie du Chien police have identified the victim in last Friday's homicide as 65-year-old Daniel Welsh. 39-year-old Jesse Slaughter is facing first-degree reckless homicide charges. Officers found Welsh dead from apparent sharp force wounds during a welfare check on East Wisconsin Street. Slaughter also faces separate charges in Oneida County for disorderly conduct and property damage. First Ladies Jill Biden and Gwen Walz rallied supporters in La Crosse yesterday. The former educator spoke about the election's impact on teaching careers. Wisconsin teachers currently make about $7,000 below the national average, with state budget cuts and bargaining laws driving many from the profession. One lacrosse teacher says having Walz as VP is crucial for the future of Wisconsin educators.
Having a public school teacher beside her in the White House, I've never seen anything like that. And so knowing that our voices are going to be represented in policy discussions is just, you can feel the change coming. It's so exciting.
Members of the National and Lacrosse Education Association spoke before the First Ladies. Vice President Harris taking the stage at the Ellipse in Washington tonight for a pivotal campaign speech. It is the same location where Donald Trump rallied supporters before January 6, 2021. Her advisors say she'll focus on economic plans while aiming to reach undecided voters, those concerned about Trump but not yet convinced by Harris. And 3rd District candidate Derek Van Orden bringing his re-election campaign to Dairyland Power, hosting a nuclear energy roundtable. Republican congressman says carbon neutral goals require nuclear investment. Both Van Orden and Dairyland's president advocate for streamlined permits and equal subsidies with wind and solar to boost investment.
I don't want the federal government dictating to these professionals, you're going to use X amount of wind, X amount of solar, X amount of nuke. I don't want to do that. I want the subject matter experts that are providing a service to be able to provide that service with reasonable oversight from the federal government.
Dairyland's president calls nuclear power safe and carbon-free with built-in decommissioning costs. Later, Van Orden rallied with House Majority Leader Scalise at his lacrosse campaign headquarters. Congressman also joined Minnesota's Brad Finstad, demanding USDA explain Pure Prairie Poultry's bankruptcy. The Minnesota processor received millions in federal funds before closing, forcing local farmers to cull thousands of chickens after payments stopped. And if you want to vote early today, you can do so in La Crosse at City Hall from 8:30 to 6, Northside Policing Center from 9 to 2, or the Moog Cultural Community Agency from 9 to 2. In Onalaska, you can head to the city clerk's office from 8 to 6 today.
How about this, though? We're looking at temperatures on the rise today. Low 80s and middle 70s in there with mostly cloudy skies. Then tomorrow, 90% chance of rainfall on the way, man. Look at those numbers. We're looking at 70s in the forecast, believe it or not. And, of course, we can see 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. Hey, take a look at this as we get into it. Your Halloween forecast. Those numbers are not a joke. They are chilly. So bundle up the kiddos once you're going to Halloween out and about. In fact, you're going to be seeing, as we go through the next few days, again, temperatures on the cool. Back to seasonal averages.
All right, thank you, Art. A mysterious creature caught on Bristol Zoo trail camera has social media buzzing. The winged, possibly horned beast has sparked wild theories from supernatural to simple camera glitch. Though the zoo claims to be stumped, their timely release of a similar looking deer photo and upcoming Halloween event might solve this creature features mystery. Yeah, isn't it a deer?
It's a deer.
With some extra ears, which is probably a camera glitch, right?
It's not so evil, Bambi.
Yeah, we're taking all the Halloween fun out of it, though. Who knows what it could be?
Exactly.
Maybe it has something to do with your witch that keeps popping up on your forecast.
What?
We'll see you back here at noon for more witches. Thanks for joining us.